Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Wilton Report. My name is Josh Wilton, and we are going to kind of do a quick wrap as to what the heck is happening in the market. We'll look at some end of April data. We're going to kind of basically focus on Princeton. We're going to start broadening out our discussions to other towns. I do have one interesting case to talk about in another town, but what's happening in the market? My God, if I had $1 for every time I was asked that question, I would not have to broadcast this to you. I'd be done. I'd be retired. So that being said, let's attempt to answer the question as to what's happening. This is not a future-looking conversation today. This is a conversation based on what's happening today in the market and the pace of sales and everything else. So let's take a look. So I'm going to give you some snapshots of homes that went under contract this past week in Princeton. So this one is on Southern Way. It was listed for $1.2 million, had multiple offers. My customer had an offer in on it at $1.415 million, and we didn't get it. So let that sink in. We offered $215,000 above the asking price. We waived the appraisal. We limited home inspection to very minimal things like an oil tank sweep. We didn't get it. So somebody beat an offer that was $215,000 higher. It's incredible. So everyone's asking, has the market slowed down? I hope that I could pretty much end the broadcast here. No, it has not. This one hit the market literally a few days ago, 175 Cedar Lane. It came on the market at $1.499 million. I believe it had 6 offers. This is our customer who's represented us to sell their house. So that went above asking price. 74 Robert Road, again in Riverside, came on the market at $1.049 million, had 10 offers. So let's talk about that for a minute. 10 people wanted to buy that house in Riverside, 74 Robert Road. So let's pretend the market slows down by half. You know how many buyers you're still competing with to buy Robert Road next time? 5. It's just where the market's at. So, we're going to talk about bidding strategies in a little bit, but the reality is the depth of this market, I think, is actually shocking. It's just shocking. So, here's another one, Evergreen in Princeton that's listed above $1.5 million. It's still available. It's been on the market a couple of weeks. So, every once in a while you will get a house that maybe misses the market a little bit, but there is a ton of interest in this house and it will sell. But it's, sometimes things don't sell in the first 2 days. So, glimmer of hope for some buyers in the market. I wanted to talk about this one. This was a fascinating, and this we'll talk about a lot. So 504 Brookside in Hillsborough, we listed it at $299,000. It's a townhouse. It's amazing. We had 21 offers. Actually, I take that back. 22 offers. One came in last night. I didn't even have a chance to look at it yet. So 22 people wanted to buy one home. Think about that for a minute. That is nothing short of incredible. So where's the market at? It's deep. Again, if the market slowed down by half, there's still 10 people that want to buy 504 Brookside in Hillsborough. So really intense bidding, really intense market conditions for buyers. For sellers, I wanted to show you this, and I apologize for those of you who are listening today and not watching on the screen, but you can check us out on YouTube at the Wilton Report. This slide depicts everything a seller needs to know about selling their house. So for 504 Brookside, we put the house on the market on a Thursday morning at 8 o'clock. That's when we went live. By Saturday at 5 o'clock, we had over 53 showings. So 53 realtors registered, made an appointment to take their client through the house. We had 2 open houses where we averaged about 20 groups per. So you quite literally had 100 prospective buyers through the property in the first 3 days that it was on the market. Now, what's interesting, if you look at the graph on the right, and for those of you, again, listening, I apologize, that number drops so precipitously. So precipitously. It goes from 52 to under 10. Now, again, that's 1 day's view of Sunday versus a full week. But if you're a seller, right, and you go on the market and, you have a tremendous number of showings the first week, and it's going to dissipate. All the available buyers will come through in the first 5 days, right? That is the gift of the internet to the seller. They can funnel people through. There's a good strategy we promote behind that. We'll talk about in another broadcast. But if you don't hit that market right, if you don't price it right, the volume of buyers is going to shift downward on you. So it's just interesting. I just wanted to throw it out there because I thought the data was interesting. So for those of you getting ready to sell, please keep that in mind. The other thing, too, for Princeton, jumping back to Princeton, homes that have sold in under 30 days on the market have sold at a minimum of basically 102% of their asking price. So if you're a buyer, and I think next week we're going to talk about buyer bidding strategies because we're just hearing a lot of woeful stories in the market. But if you're a buyer and you're offering less than 102% of the asking price, you're not going to get the house. It's literally statistically impossible for you to get the house. Now, shift to homes that have been on the market for 91 to 120 days. The seller's averaging 87.18% of its asking price. So it shows you what happens if you misprice a house. If you're a seller and you overprice it and you don't hit the market hard and right and create fear of loss and create the bidding war, which we've talked about in other broadcasts, you will net literally 13% less than your asking price, 14 or 15% less than sellers who price it right. So for buyers, maybe talk to your realtor about homes that have been on the market for 91 days or more. Maybe you can offer less than the asking price. Unfortunately, those homes tend to be the ones on the busy roads, maybe the ones that have a little red flag for why they shouldn't be bought anyway, because always buy with location, worst house in the best neighborhood. So, pretty interesting data to look at there. The other thing too for Princeton, look at it like this, right? 54 homes sold. A third of them were cash. A third. The rest were mortgage conventional. So a third of the homes in Princeton that closed in April, people bought with cash. So I get it, but the interest rates went up. So what? Almost half the market's cash. It doesn't matter. They're not banking interest rates. They're buying because of the university. They're buying because of the high school. They're buying because of the downtown. Interest rates have no bearing on their purchase decision. So for those of you who are contemplating, I'm going to offer under the asking price because interest rates went up 2 points, don't bother. It's not going to happen. And again, for sellers, right, this is something, if you price it right, maybe you'll get more cash offers than not. So again, Princeton is such a unique and dynamic market. So from a bidding strategy for a buyer, if you're not aggressive, if you're not waiving appraisal and mortgage and home inspection, you're competing with cash buyers who don't have a mortgage or an appraisal. So something to think about as you bid. So again, April, dynamic month in the market. It was very busy in the market. So for April of 2021, right, 54 homes came on the market. In Princeton, April of 2022, 48 homes came on the market. So inventory's down. It's this chronic problem of not enough homes to sell. It's happening still. It's grinding forward. And until you alleviate the supply problem, you're not going to alleviate pricing problems. So the other thing too, last year in April, it took an average of 56 days. For the homes that settled in April, it took them 56 days on average to close. This year, that went down to 41. So again, not only is there fewer homes on the market, but they're selling faster. Last year in April, the average sold price was $1.264 million. This year, 1.283 million. Now, that doesn't sound significant, right? But that's a 1 month view. That's happening every month. So if it's 10,000 a month over 12 months, you can do the math. I hope you can do the math. So it's just a lot going on. One silver lining for buyers, perhaps, is that last year 42 homes went pending in the month of April. This year 28 went pending. But again, issue being there is just nothing to buy. So very challenging for buyers on a continued basis. So what's happening in the market? That's it. I could spend a day talking about it, but the reality is we are undersupplied. I know rates have jumped by a couple of points. Half of Princeton purchases are cash or more. Rates don't matter here as much as other markets, and people are literally lining up outside of houses to buy them. That's the current snapshot in the market. Obviously subject to change in the future. We'll keep track of it. That is the broadcast for today. Thank you for those of you who are following us on YouTube at the Wilton Report. You can always text or call me at 609-577-6786 with any of your real estate questions. And we look forward to seeing you back here for the next Wilton Report. Thanks, everybody.